Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Sheikh said, well, Sheikh Nazim and Mawlana Sheikh Hashem relayed his message to us nowadays. This is the time for hilm. Hilm, to take it. Swallow your anger and digest it. Someone said to Sayyidi, what happens if we run out of hilm, out of patience? He said, go more. This is the time you have to use it. Allah likes when his servant is patient. صبر جميل الله المستعان على ما تصفون. It's the other one. Never give up hope. Allah will make everything all right. يستر يا سيدي تركاتنا والصحبة وخير في الجميع لو شهرت أفد أست. Sohbat has to be for the sahba, to try to be in the presence of our Shaykh, to take from his blessings, his huyudat, his outpourings, his magnetic field, his field of attraction, for that. Because for another purpose, it destroys your good deeds. You think you did something good, you find open, you buy a bag of flour, you open it, it's all ants. What happened? I was saving it for Y2K, no, too late. Y2K, I brought my good deeds, oh my Lord. Let's see what you got. Oh, look. It's all eaten. Worms and ants and moths and roaches and ate everything. What happened, oh my Lord? I did good deeds. No, you weren't doing good deeds for me. You were asking to be respected and high position for yourself. You destroyed everything. So it has to be for him. We're intending. I don't think we're capable of such a high endeavor, but we're intending. That surah room, especially the last part, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he gives the map for us, how your life is going to be. We created you, Dufan, weak. Baby is weak. What's a baby? You can't do anything. Parents have to do everything. Mostly mother has to do everything for the baby. Baby can't do anything for itself. Then, bit by bit, you get stronger, you reach your maturity. Badal Dufan, Quwwat. After weakness, we give you strength. And we live the mid part of our lives in strength. We reach our full strength. They say after 40, you reach your full power. Okay. They used to have, at the beginning of the space program, Project Mercury and Project Gemini. Gemini went into orbit. Mercury, no. They shot it up, goes to its apogee, high point, and then comes down, reaches its peak, and after apogee has to come perigee, push into the oceans. They teach apogee and perigee in school anymore? Ask your teacher next time. Teacher, what is the apogee of my achievement and what's its perigee? After our maturity begins to come Shaybat, old age, gray hair. We gave long life to make you to go back to the way you were when you were a baby. Another ayah says, after having known much, you'll forget everything. You can't know anything. Allah gives us the map. We can see ourselves. Who's going to love this dunya? He gave you a map. You're entering here. Oh, people, you're entering to dunya. This is how you'll be. Whatever your hopes for, getting going. Some don't even reach to that. Allah save us from accidents and sickness and make it short, make us good through our childhood, make us good through our youth, make us good through our maturity, make us good through our old age. Grant us quwwah and power up to the end. Long life for Mulana Shaykh Abdul Haqq. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد سيد الأولين والآخرين. Therefore, fasbir. Allah ends the surah concludes by saying fasbir. You know what Allah haq. Allah ta'ala how does it go? Fasbir in Allah fasbir in Allah haq. Therefore be patient. The promise of Allah is true. Allah took on himself an oath. He made it obligatory for himself, Almighty, to help the believer. We didn't reach to be believers, but He may extend the rukhsah for those who believe in you, oh our Lord. They said they believe. Who can reach that high level? He promised to help the one who believes in Him. Not promised. He made it a oath binding on himself. Allah made an oath on himself to support the believers. At the end he says, what? Fasbir.
فاصبر إن وعد الله حق ولا يستخفنك الذين لا يوقنون.
What's the translation? What did they say?
So patiently persevere.
Fasbir. So be patient. Therefore be patient. The fa is in there.
For verily the promise of Allah is true.
Yeah.
Nor did those shake like firmness themselves no certainty of faith.
Try to be on firmness. All you who believe, believe. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, amanu billahi wa rasul. Someone reminded me the other day, they say, make dua. I say, we hope Allah will support us. No, you have to be sure. Allah support us. Oh, Allah. And be confident for that. You make dua to be confident in Allah's. The ayah says, therefore be patient and don't let those who are not patient shake you. Those who don't believe are always coming with something to shake you. What you're believing, you're crazy. All of them going to the end. Everyone going to the end of the tunnel. They're not going to be any better at the end than you. They came to Sayyidina Ali, and they said, why you're taking so much trouble? Unbelievers came to him and said, why you're taking so much trouble? Praying, fasting, and wudu, and doing all these things. We're enjoying ourselves having, when we die, it's nothing. You're making a big deal, suffering for nothing. In the end, it's going to be nothing. So you say it's going to be nothing? Yes. Okay, so you admit at the end that we're going to be equal. Yes. There's nothing. Yes. So all my trouble that I'm taking won't bother me anymore. It's gone. all my voodoo and praying disappears. It's not anymore going to be my problem. And all your enjoyment's also not going to be with you. You lost that also. Right? There's nothing. All that you enjoyed is gone. Even the memory of it is gone. So we're the same. If it's as you say, okay, it's nothing. Bye, 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 bye. If, as we're saying, is true, you have problem with that. Hasbir, Hasbir, Allahi Haqq. Promise of Allah is true. Don't let those who have no firmness shake you. We live in an age, mostly people are not believing anymore. Their lives are not based on belief. And if you listen to them, it's a huge. It's following one podcaster. He opened his own platform. So it's righteous, everything. I made groups for you. We'll do a beta test. You make your own groups, and immediately hundreds of people made their groups. You go to his page instead of listening to his podcast. Now there's 500 people and their groups. Each one is different time. Where do you want to go? Where's the guy with the podcast? I came to look. He's buried in a sea of on every conceivable subject, and everything is like so many voices, so many voices. You know the story of the Tower of Babel? Babel or Babel? Babel? Babylon. They say mankind originally spoke one language. That's Suryani. Aidan, Jolin, like that. It's different Awliya, they put bits of it in there, dua. I found one Burhatiya. I found one Pakistani Sheikh who recites it very nice. All these names, you listen to them, you don't know you're coming or going. Angels and jinn, who knows? They spoke one language, language of Sayyidina Adam. And it was the language of paradise. They spoke that language when they came here. And it's the language of angels. I saw where Imam Suyuti, I think one of the big imams that people accept his writings, or not accept that he's a true one. He said it's a strange thing, Ajib. The angels will question you in the grave when Munkar and Nakir, the angels come to question you, they'll question you in Suryani. Not in Arabic, not in English, not in Urdu. The angels will come and say, say what? You answer in Suryani, the original language of Adam. And they say mankind, they experienced a fall. Tower of Babel. It's a huge tower, and they began to fight with each other. And the languages were split into so many different languages, no one could understand the other one. It became a tower of no understanding. Either a real tower or a symbolic tower. People, they say intelligence agencies are monitoring everything. What they're going to monitor? How many different languages? Then dialects, then slang. They're monitoring Abar, yo blood, bring the hoopty. They say, yo blood, bring the hoopty. It's Chinese, throw don't know. I can't find it in my dictionary. And there's an A-bar in China also saying something else no one heard of before. Or different gangs, each one speak a different. Shaykh Hashem said in Lebanon, back in the 70s or 80s, there was a civil war. Things degenerated to the point where there was a different gang in control of every different block. There was a different teenager with a bazooka or a machine gun or a tank or heavy weaponry in the hands of a young person. Each one has a different password. He says, you don't know what you have to say to get past. Well, I say, what we're going to answer. It's like that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us to understand Haqq. Rabbi arina haqqa haqqa warzuqna ittiba'a. Oh my Lord, in all this confusion, show us truth as being true. With all these different voices, all these different things, we ask our Lord to give us a Furqan. What's the criterion? Bayan and Furqan. Something to be able to know which is true. They say firasa. To be able to look, you meet a new person or you see, to know what that person's character. This is a true one, this is not a true one, this is good, not good. Whenever a doctor or psychiatrist would come to Cyprus to see Sheikh Nazim, he would say, take a tablet and a pen and interview everyone here in the Dargah, make 2 columns. He says, they're all crazy for sure. This is for psychiatrists. Some psychiatrists. All of them are crazy for sure. Only write their names 2 columns. Harmful or harmless. See which category they're in. We know which ones is harmful, the rest we didn't care. All crazy for sure, no doubt. Make us at least to know which is harmful, which is harmless, and to be saved from the harm of the harmful ones. And oh our Lord, our egos are also harmful. We ask a guardian, our control on our egos, not to harm others, not to be harmful at least. If we can't help, at least don't be harmful. They say if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. You make it 1 degree worse or 10 degrees worse. Firasa, muraqabah, fiqh, contemplation, observation, meditation, insightful looking, intuition. What words do we have? To see, really. See with 2 eyes. I was reading from time to time, people translated Shaykh Al-Akbar, Shaykh Muhyiddin, and then Shaykh Muhyiddin, and then Abdul Shah, Sayyid Abdul Haqq, Shaykh Madad. Help us, for all our affairs is out of our control. So many things. He said, see with 2 eyes. We're seeing with 1 eye only, the eye of dunya, outward looking at things. Ask to open the real eye, the heart's eye. Awliya have a firasa, immediately they know. When you came to Maulana Shaykh Nazim, you can understand, he knows what you're thinking. Somebody asked me to write a book of all my experiences. Trying to get out of it, I went to a website and said, what's the best machine for writing? I clicked on the first thing, someone had an article. Stop asking this question. All of them were saying, use Pages, use Docs, use Word, use any machine. Write. You're using an excuse not to write. Forget which machine you're using. He said, try to remember your experiences with Sheikh Nazim. Somebody told me, Rim Tawfiq Buddha gave a maraqaba, a rosy goat. I said, what's a rosy goat? I heard it like that. It's a rosy goat. Maybe I heard it wrong. Speaking Indian English. Think of the first time you saw your sheikh and try to remember that. The first time you said hi. I tried in my mind to go back to the first. MashaAllah. I went to London to see him. I finally made up my mind after arguing. I had a friend who became his murid. And we argued about it for several years. We toured around the country to meet the other murids here. Finally, I decided to go. In those days, you would take your credit card, go to the airport, and fly. There was no all these things, terrorist things hadn't happened yet. And you could see somebody off to the gate. I think you could go on the plane with them and say, okay, I'll visit it off and fly. No, finished. But we landed, and I made my way through the metro or the tube in London, the subway. Going. Instead of looking at all the touristic things, now I'm seeing London for the first time. I became aware of my thoughts. Mostly we think without thinking about what we're thinking. It runs. Its program runs. Sometimes it's nice, and mostly it's embarrassing stuff. It was turned on and broadcast. Oh my God. Little songs. And I was thinking everybody could hear it. This, as if my thoughts were broadcast. Came up from the tube station at Manor House was the station. Came up to the street, almost got run over because they drive on the other side of the street there. I was looking this way, and the cat came through this way. Walked to Mama Sheikh's place, Green Lane. Came in, he was a very tough Turkish person. I never saw a Turk before in my life. What do you want to see Sheikh Nazim for? Plus, I'm broadcasting at the same time. Already like I'm about to burst into tears. I'm very. He's upstairs. I'm going up the stairs, and the most just destroyed psychologically. First floor, second, there's a 3 flat, little rooms. 3 flat in the basement. There was no ground floor. There were boards covering the basement. You walk through the door to the kitchen on boards. You had to put the floor in. The door at the top of the stairs was the room where the Murids were praying. There was only a handful of people, 5, 6 people. I saw it in the door, Mawlana Sheikh, praying in the door, dressed in green, like beard. He was in Sajda. I never saw Sajda. Okay. All during that visit, I was still thinking that they were reading my thoughts. I thought that he was speaking Turkish to some people sitting next to him. Afterwards, they were having tea. And imagine he was saying in Turkish Look, this poor person came to us today. He's had it. He's only got a couple hours left. He's going to be murdered. There's nothing we can do. At least try and keep him happy for a couple hours. They brought me some soup. That's what I'm thinking they're saying. And then he turned it off finally. He said to me, as if reading my thoughts, he said, you can think all kinds of thoughts. Good thoughts, this is the important part. The rest of it is just local color, painting the picture. I'm thinking what I'm going to write in the book if I'm lazy enough to write. You can think all kinds of thoughts. Good thoughts and bad thoughts. He said, don't sign it. Don't. Just because you think it, don't. When we think something, we don't question it's true or not true. Everybody loves their own opinion or their own. We never think that it might not be that. Might not be that way. Might be someone you think is stupid from another way, from another cult. If you write something, say, it's like this. They say, what about that? I forgot about that. Oh. You realize you were the stupid. You never thought about it. But I was so smart. What happened? And they're so stupid. Might be the stupid one comes with something you never thought of. Therefore, Prophet said, wisdom, so I said it. Wisdom is the lost property of the Muslim, of the believer. Anywhere you find it, take it as your own. May Allah grant us the eye. Arina haqqa haqqa or zukna antiba. Make us to see truth as truth. If it comes from our own thinking and intuition, alhamdulillah. If somebody else says it to us, let us to see it, not to dismiss it from prejudice. Say, no, this guy's stupid. You might know. You might know. Maybe Allah sent that person to say something. You don't know. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He hid, He concealed, Sayyidina Khidr among everyone. Anyone might be the one you insulted, that might have been Sayyidina Khidr. Can I show you something? He said, might be your Shaykh coming in a rented body. Somebody said rent a car for such and such a purpose. He might come in a rented body. You respect everyone. You don't know who's who and what's what. Believer has to have a open. Be patient because you don't know. You think you see the whole picture, you don't see the whole picture. There's so many stories Maulana Shaykh told showing you only see this by looking through a telescope from the small end, from the big end to the small end. You see a tiny view, you miss the big story. May Allah grant us a good attitude. Allahumma nawwir. Khairat. Nowhere be qalbi, nowhere qalbi be inna. Okay? Nowhere qulubana be inna, as-sami bi. Enlighten us with knowledge and make us to be busy. واشغول باتباع فكرة. Shugul. What's shugul? Work. To be busy. Make us hardworking at what? Fikran. To contemplate, to think deeply. We don't think. Allah gave us these Mine's what you do, you might as well make a balloon out of it and throw it behind you, fill it with helium. And say, what's that? What's my brain? I don't need it for anything. I was thinking of leaving it at home. You make my head lighter. You won't be needing this. Make me busy contemplating. What? When? Anytime. You're in Allah's presence. You're alone in His presence. He's showing you what He wants to show you. But we're not thinking about it. We're not busy with it. The eye of our heart is not working. Think about it. Think about it. Think about yourself in this month. The month of Khalwa. Khalwat is to think about yourself and see what needs working on. How to be improved. How to come closer to Allah. How to make that eye open. How not to be left helpless in the hands of our ego. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد سيدنا ونينا والآخر بحرمة الحبيب بحرمة الفاتح. Thanks to Allah, thanks to Rasulullah, thanks to Grand Shaykh, thanks to Maulana Shaykh, thanks to Maulana. You have something to say. Maybe he assigned a mosquito to do something. Say there's an idiot there with no brain. Teach him something to say. It's easy to speak. Oh, we need the highest one to teach me. You're not going to understand the highest one. Even he doesn't say anything, you're not going to understand. This mosquito is okay. And even that's too good for you. We send the baby mosquito that just hatched. You might have something for them. Coffee. So what I'm going to write. How long it would take to write that? 1 year. 24 from, no, 18. Oh, went back to 14. Oh, it's old. Oh, it's italic. Now the lines are not indented. To write one line takes an hour. Allah Akbar. Speech to text. That's possible. Speech to text, see? Don't tell me, I already know everything. I was going to say speech. Sheikh said, you have to be more clever. Grand Sheikh is wearing his glasses, looking for his glasses. His wife says, what are you looking for? My glasses. Because you're wearing them. Quickly, no, my other glasses. No, text to speech. I was going to say.